Okay, so back to the vapor canister today, and what we're going to do is, because my cuts weren't the greatest, I'm just going to take this and work this on this sandpaper and do the same with the other side and get it nice and flat. Okay, so sanding these down is flattening them good. The only thing is my cuts were not good, so I'm probably missing about 3/8 on the total length of this. I don't think it's going to matter, but that seems to be about the amount that's missing. So next I'm going to take the old charcoal, because I've read that you can just reactivate it. I'm going to take it and spark it up and burn the gas off it. I'm going to do it safely outside. First I got to dump it and get all the pieces of filter out of there. And I'm also hoping that in there is going to be a grate that goes over that. I don't know if you can see that or not. See on here you've got the grate on there, you've got the grate at the top, and on some of them I've looked at, they also have a little piece in there, a little grate that fits in there. So I either fell out with the charcoal or this particular one doesn't have it. So more later. Okay, so this is how I'm told you refresh the charcoal. Just burn the stuff off it. So I'm out here in a safe area. Got a bucket of water there in case anything goes wrong, and we're going to light this up and burn the vapor off it. I definitely don't recommend anyone does this inside, or actually I don't recommend anyone does this at all. Okay, so this has been burning pretty good. We just had a couple inches of rain here, so I'm not too worried about the grass. And we're getting all the vapor off it. And remember, you don't want to burn it up. Well, I don't suggest you do it at all, but I don't want to burn the charcoal up. I just want to get the gas off it. And that's what I'm doing. And when I'm done, I'll be able to put it all back in, because the fuel and everything else will be burned off it. So that's where we're at. Okay, so I've reactivated and cleaned the charcoal, and so next we're going to put it back in here. I didn't find any grate in that, so I guess they don't have a grate in there, so I'll just put the filter back in and fill this up with charcoal, and then get this bottom put on and get it back on the car. Okay, so the charcoal's been cleaned and put back in, and then the next step here is going to be to put this bottom piece on, and I guess I'm going to tape that on a bit first and then start welding the plastic, and we'll see how we do. Just kind of learning as we go along, so more later. Okay, so I'm starting to stitch this up with a 30-watt soldering iron, and then usually when I do plastic I put finishing nails in it, but this stuff isn't thick enough, so we'll continue with this. Highly recommend, if you're going to do this, that I got a fan here so you can blow the fumes away. You don't want to be breathing that stuff in. So I've switched to my 100-watt soldering iron. Previously I did say I was going to use ABS on this. When I get this done, I may just coat it all with ABS, and then I'm going to put that overlapping band on it. So, but if you just I'm not sure this old BlackBerry's going to get this very good, but just go ahead and run that along. Like I say, normally I've used finishing nails to do this stuff, but I think this is going to work okay, so we'll have more later. So if you're doing this, I'm not sure a lot of people are going to want to do this, but anyway, it will build up on the tip of that soldering iron, so just give it a quick rub on the slow moving grinding wheel and it'll take all that back off and you can get back to it. Okay, so this plastic welding is done. Like I said, I used my 100-watt soldering iron. 30 watts wasn't enough. And so the next thing I'll do is I'm going to coat the hell out of this with ABS cement and then another adhesive on top of that, at which point I'm going to wrap this band around it and overlap it and then put it back on the car and we're good to go. Maybe you can find these new. I haven't been able to find one. Everywhere you go, every auto parts store you talk to or go to online tells you they're discontinued. This particular part number, I found it for the 84 and the 85 Corvette, but I couldn't find one. So, and any that I've seen on eBay that are used are probably the same thing with the wreckers. They're going to be old like mine was, like yours probably is, and the filters are gone, and you've got charcoal leaking out of the bottom here, screwing up your car. And if I get a used one, I just have to do this anyway, so. And also, where I cut it there is just about perfect if you decide to do this on yours, because that's about the thickness of the filter anyway. So, by the time you fill that up and get that filter on, you're really pushing it to hold it on there. It's full. And also, I did cut about, I don't know, a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 off of this. So don't be a dummy like me. Cut it straighter. You know, looking back, I should not have used a reciprocating saw. I should have just used a hacksaw or a handsaw of some kind where I could have a little more control on it being straight. So having to smooth that out cost me some space here, but I'm not worried about it. So what I've done here is I've decided to take another piece of ABS and kind of filling in any spot that I think might be weak. Even if it's not weak, I'm going to feel better about it if I do that. And then I might sand it down lightly and then get the cement on it. So as shown, I reinforced this with some more ABS, 100-watt soldering iron, no problem, and I've wrapped it in that band, so the vapor canister is finished.